Kaustubha Das here with the big announcement for Wisdom of the Sages listeners. This August will be Ashram Month at the Super Soul Farm. Simple ashram living, rising early, morning kirtan, yoga and pranayama, healthy vegan and vegetarian meals, farm seva and being immersed in nature, and then gathering in the evenings for kirtan and readings. Plus, each week we'll have a lead presenter teaching a different facet of the philosophy and lifestyle of Bhakti-yoga. Week number 1 will be the exceptional Bhakti Lata teaching a course called The Beauty of Bhakti, bringing the culture of love and devotion into our lives. Week number 2 is my brother from another mother, Raghunath, teaching Falling in Love with Divinity, the Bhakti-yogi's method for opening the heart. And week number 3 is myself with a course called Following the Path, examining the history and teachings of Bhakti-yoga. You can come for 1, 2, or all 3 weeks, and the pricing is by donation. For more dates and information, go to wisdomofthesages.com/events. Peace.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from stormy Costa Rica, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Kaustubha Das. Welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam, everybody. It is Monday. It is Makeover Monday, and I'm making over my mouth. Mara's making over her mouth. We're down in Costa Rica having exotic dental tourism. It's just too rainy to do anything else. Everyone's like, you should go to the beach. No, we shouldn't. It's like pouring rain out. Things are flooded. But we do get a little glimpse of sunshine in the morning when we go for japa walks.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I need plenty of fruit. It's mango season here. It's out of control with mangoes.
And avocados.
And avocado. This is like avocado land. We're eating so many avocados.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it, man.
Thank you for your dietary information and your dental information.
Like that, and the dirt sheep.
Okay.
I mean, we're
soft for your mouth.
Soft for my painful mouth.
Oh.
Mouth is in pain. I got like 5 hours in there today.
How many hours do you have to do over there? What?
Yeah, it's long. It's every day this week. Today's the big day.
Wow.
Monday's the big day.
Okay.
But thank you, everybody who's listening on Zoom. You know, I think we should do, Kaustubha, we should post on your stories, on Wisdom of the Sages stories and my stories, when the show is going to be shifted around, because sometimes people aren't getting all the messages.
That's actually, that's what the Sage page is for, but we've just neglected it for so long. We got to get back.
We'll put it up on
Sage
stories.
page.
Everybody follows stories, and it's easy to get up there. You can put the
All right.
posts. So this whole week, you guys, 8:00 New York time, because we're 2 hours behind down here. And it's, yeah. Okay. So we have a new week this week, and the theme for our nuggets, like we start the show, if you're new to this, we start the show with some little useful info, usually a quote from a, popular personality, a writer, an author, a great thinker. But this week is Gratitude Week.
It's a theme.
It is a theme. I want to thank all the fathers. First of all, I have gratitude for all the fathers out there. We just had Father's Day yesterday, and I just put up a post about, I think at different vantage points of my life, you have different appreciations for dads. And I know that, 21, much less appreciation for my dad. Matter of fact, my dad did everything wrong when I was 21. It was only until I was 25 that I realized my dad did some things right. He did know some things. But at my riper age of 56, I realized, how did my dad do what he did? It's quite amazing. And of course, it's part of the Bhakti path is to start appreciating. Because when there's first of all, when there's appreciation, there's happiness. They go hand in hand really well together. And in the same way, entitlement, right? Because the opposite of appreciation is sort of like, I'm entitled to all this. From entitlement comes a type of sadness. I think everybody owes me. My father owes me. I didn't ask to be born. This is unfair. So a big part of our Bhakti path is we learn to appreciate all the people that have been sent to us to sort of lift us, educate us, steer us, shepherd us. So I have great appreciation for my dad today, meditating on how he raised 7 kids on a school teacher budget, and just, and just showed up. This tea's for you, Dad.
Okay.
This tea's for you.
So was that our nugget?
That
Yeah,
wasn't
we
our
haven't heard the
You want a
nugget yet.
Okay. Well, on Gratitude Week, that's how I started off. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, this is from Brother David Steindelrost. Brother David Steindelrost.
Who is
Who's
Brother
that?
David Stanley? You want me to tell you?
Who is Brother?
He's a Benedictine monk.
Like he's alive doing things?
He still is, I believe, but he must be quite old. He was born in 26. So he's
that was
nearly
my
100
dad.
years
That's
old.
when my mom was born.
Really? Well, yeah.
So that means
as
he's
old as-
96. Wait, my mom.
contemporary?
How's my mom this year?
Yeah. He's an.
Yeah, my mom's 96.
There you go. So he's an American Catholic Benedictine monk, author, and lecturer. And he's committed to interfaith dialogue and has dealt with the interaction between spirituality and science. But I think he wrote a book on gratitude. And let's see, selected writings over. Oh, Gratefulness, the Heart of Prayer, an Approach to Life and Fullness. Okay. He
All right, well,
seems like a
here's-
nice monk to me.
He seems like a nice monk.
Yeah.
I like monks.
I mean, some of them.
Well, you got issues with some monks?
Yeah,
You got-
a few
Just a
monks
couple
out there. Okay, let's hear what he has to say.
The root of joy is gratefulness. It is not joy that makes us grateful. It is gratitude that makes us joyful. Ooh, I'm
Okay.
gonna read that again.
Okay.
The root of joy is gratefulness. It is not joy that makes us grateful. It is gratitude that makes us joyful.
Now that's a really significant
that?
statement.
Did I
What-
just say that?
Yeah, you read it twice.
Thinking
so-
like Brother David Steindelrast.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, well, it is such an interesting idea, right? Because again, this goes to the strategy in life. People have to have a strategy, right? We can't just wander around like blind. Making just living a life based on unexplored assumptions, right? So the assumption might be that, yeah, once things are good, then you're grateful. That's the way things work, right? If you're not feeling joy, there's nothing to be grateful for. And once you feel joy, you'll naturally feel grateful.
I am up to my forehead, up to my T-lock markings with gratitude today, Prabhu, because
Okay.
I'm burning through this final edit of my book, and when you really go through your life, which is mine is like memoirs. When you really go through your life, you really see how like, wow, that something really wonderful happened here this year. How fortunate I was. Then something devastating happened here. But you realize how it was all leading to a spiritual journey. When a spiritualist looks back at their life, they realize everything was there was every perfect spice put in your life. Every sweetness, every saltiness, every bitterness, and every spiciness was all a perfect
Astringency.
recipe. Astringent, perhaps, was
Okay.
all perfectly spiced for your personal evolution. Like God was the incredible chef to bring you to where you need to be. So going through my life, it's just like I was like, man, I see all the people that Krishna sent to me to direct me, to shepherd me, to herd me, to love me, to sort of break my heart. It was actually incredible. And I think it's important for, or at least I think it's really useful to go through our entire life with a devotee's lenses and see. It can also clear up a lot of resentment and hurt as well, to see how actually, no, this was actually divine. This thing I'm a little bitter about, I needed that at that time in my life. I wouldn't have it any other way. And so I'm going through all these stories and recollections. I'm really steeped with gratitude today,
Are you feeling steeped with joy?
and steeped with joy.
Okay. Well, I'm going to read you another quote from the brother.
From the brother.
Yeah, from Brother David. Because it actually speaks
At
to
what
what
point do you get the name Father?
I don't know if the brothers ever become father. I think they're brothers.
Okay.
I'm not sure about that though.
I mean, he is 96.
He's been around a long
He's
time.
96. I feel it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so again, just examining his original statement, right? The root of joy is gratefulness. Like, if we could just to be grateful, it may mean that we have to just adjust the way that we see things, which you're saying you're doing now by looking back at your life, right? But that hindsight is providing you a certain type of gratitude when you look
Mhm.
at it and examine it in a different way, and naturally that brings joy, rather than the idea that, well, I'll be grateful once there's something to be joyful about. Okay,
Yeah.
no, that's not how it works, right? In other words, it means your happiness or your joy isn't dependent on the external situations. It's dependent on how you look at your life. And that's great news, because that's something that's within our own power to adjust, right?
Mm.
But then he takes it a step further, Raghunath, and I think this is what you're leading at here. Think about this now. You ready? This
Speak to
is
me, Brother Kaustubha. We should
this
call
is
each other that.
brother.
Brother
What
Kaustubha.
up, brother?
Brother Kaustubha. Or Father
We call
Kaustubha.
each other
I
brother
call you
sometimes.
Father Kaustubha.
No, you never call
I
me
could
father.
see you like a priest.
I don't think I could
Father
be a priest,
Kaustubha.
but we call each other brother sometimes, right, brother?
Yeah, but that's
What up,
like
brother?
like street talk, not like
No, it's got the
holy
same
talk.
thing. When you say it that way, it's in the heart. It's
Squirreling,
a feeling.
sir. You're squirreling. Bring it back.
We're talking. You're the one that. Okay. Any case, so here's something from the brother, but actually, it's similar to what you were steering at, Raghunath. But actually, he's turning it the other way. He's saying not only should we look back at our life, examine it, try to understand it more deeply, and be grateful for it, but get this. You ready?
I mean,
This is from the brother. He says, true gratefulness is courage to give thanks for a gift before unwrapping it. Before unwrapping
ooh, ooh.
it. Okay, so now if you
Like me saying, you're about to get a reaction. You're like,
what?
thank you for this reaction, whatever it may be. Surprise.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Your nose
like
falls off.
in other words, yeah, you're grateful for what's coming in the future, because just like you could look just like you're saying right now, you can look in the past and maybe you weren't grateful for it as you're going through it, but
Right.
now you're looking back, you can be grateful for it. Okay, but now he says true gratefulness, right? When you really understand the nature of life, then you can also right now be grateful for whatever is about to come, and imagine how that attitude prepares you for all of life's challenges, right? Whatever's
Yep.
coming, I'm already grateful for it. I already know. I already have the confidence, right? That this is something that is an opportunity for growth.
That mood is it's the dawn of liberation, when you can
Mm.
accept, like, whatever you got for me today, Krishna, whatever you got for me, I trust you have my best interest in mind. When we really deeply feel that in our heart each morning,
Mm.
we're ready for whatever gift comes, and whatever package comes for us in the mail, we're accepting that. We trust that Krishna's delivering it for a good reason, for a benevolent reason.
There you go. All right.
Bring it on.
Gratitude week
Get
here on
careful.
Wisdom of the Station.
Careful. Okay.
I don't think we got announcements from Mara, did we?
Oh.
Caught off guard.
Those are
Nothing else to do here.
So, well, Zeb had to cancel his asana class today because he's also getting dental work done.
All
Get
right,
out.
Zeb, dental brother.
And then we also back to recovery group meetings today at 1 and 9:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay.
I see your crown and raise you 2 more crowns.
All right. You're just fascinated with crowns.
Oh, I never thought of it like that. Crowns. Funny.
All right. You ready?
Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim yasam tato jayam mudiraya. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan. Unto Narayan Rishi, the Supreme Lord, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshva badreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama sloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam, and by rendering service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome of the heart will become eradicated. And loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Jnana Tamarandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksurunmilitam Nena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet.
Right.
Reading from Canto 4, Chapter 21, Text 38.
Well, it seems like it's been a long time since
Yeah.
we've been
It's been a
together.
long time, man.
This chapter, yeah. Okay, so text 30. What did you say?
38.
We better get some
38.
Californians out there. I'm going to post it on my stories. Californians, you have no excuse.
We got Scott Stalder and Sherry Yannick.
And
Sherry
Vente.
Yannick's in New York, though, I think.
No, Sherry Yannick's in New York. She's in Oceanside.
I mean, at the moment, I think
Oh,
she's
she
in New York
is,
at the
all right.
moment. Yeah.
All right. You
So,
get no credit for that, Sherry Yannick.
Oh, she's in New York until tonight. So, Raghunath, what's going on here in this chapter? Do you
I can't
remember?
I can't remember what happened last night.
So, this chapter is entitled "Instructions by Maharaj Prithu." He's instructing the people. He's speaking to the people, right?
Yeah.
And he's in the midst of a bit of a I don't want to say rant. Rant's not the right word.
That's not
But
good.
but he's
Pure devotees don't rant.
he what he's doing is he's speaking
A
about
soliloquy?
okay, he's in the midst of a soliloquy
Thank you.
about the value of the brahmanas and the Vaishnavas in society. Okay. And it's really important that we understand this correctly. And I think he's going to clarify it in a few verses down. And Prabhupada, of course, is going to clarify it in his commentaries. But it's just a beautiful kind of glorification that he's giving. But it's not just like a glorification. I think it gets clouded with the whole ideas of caste and caste system and all of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But here, what he's really doing is he's saying that he's glorifying the brahmanas, and he's going to clarify in a bit that we're not just talking about someone that is in a particular has a particular social status because of their birth, because of the particular family born in. He's going to begin to speak about the qualities or the qualifications of a brahmana. But I think the idea here is that these brahmanas, in other words, this was a society that had a kind of an understanding of the qualifications of like a wise person, and they recognized the wise people in society, and they recognized their qualities, they glorified them, and then they granted them that status, right, based on the qualification, based on the merit. And so he's saying that we need to be in touch with this. We need to honor these people. We need to show them honor so that we'll hear from them and receive what they've got. And what they've got is so valuable, right? It's what they have is hard earned. It's not something that comes cheaply. The ability to be able to see truth in life and live that truth. It's actually like the answers to our problems, the relief to our suffering lies in that. And amongst us, let's look amongst us and see who moves through this world in a wise way, who's showing through their behavior that they get it, that happiness doesn't come from external things, who's living so simply and purely that they can speak truth without it being corrupted by outside influences. That kind of knowledge, it's elusive. It's not easy to, generally we tend to become corrupted by the externals to one degree or another. Unfortunately, in this world that we live in, our leaders are commonly very corrupted, their motives and so on. But even for the common person, right, it's elusive. We tend to swing this way or that way. We're controlled by our emotions. Often we're missing the truth, even when it's right there in front of us. Here's people that they live so simply. They live so wisely that this knowledge is this otherwise very elusive knowledge, clarity, is something that they have with them, they carry with them, they're living at all times. It's both elusive and invaluable. And so he's speaking to the people and he's reinforcing that idea that let's respect these people that have deep wisdom and deep knowledge. Let's grant them a position of status in society so that we'll hear from them in a receptive mood with gratitude. Right? Let's be grateful for it.
You got the freaking gratitude. All right.
Okay.
All right. Diving in. Text 38. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ancient eternal Godhead, who is the foremost amongst all great personalities, obtain the opulence of his staunch reputation, which purifies the entire universe by worshiping the lotus feet of those brahmanas and Vaishnavas.
Hmm.
Hmm.
That's quite a statement, right?
That's quite a statement. He
I
got, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like in the last verse, you did the last verse. The Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas are personally glorified by their characteristic powers of tolerance. Oh, he was already speaking of their qualities, right? Tolerance, penance, knowledge, and education. By dint of all these spiritual assets, Vaishnavas are more powerful than royalty. Right? He's saying, it looks like I'm powerful. They're more powerful than me because they have knowledge, because they have tolerance. That's the real power, right? It is therefore advised that those of the princely order not exhibit their material prowess before these two communities and should avoid offending them. And now he's saying something big time here. He's saying that even God honors these people. You think of any examples, Raghunath?
God honoring Brahmins and Vaishnavas.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Come on, you're the Mahabharata guy. You're like a...
Krishna and Sudam the Brahmin.
That's a good one.
Mara gets the credit for that one.
Come on, we're gonna wake up. You
Mara?
have mangoes you had today.
I'm in mango intoxicated.
Yeah, that's a famous one where that's Krishna had a childhood friend, right? Sudama. And he was trained in school with him. Sudama was a brahmana, lived a very simple life, right? And so simple that when you saw him, he almost looked a little like...
It was beyond simple. He was
a little bit like rags,
super
like that.
Poor.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. And so then Krishna was living at this point later in his life. Krishna's living in Dwarka in a very opulent situation, right? Like princely or like a king. And he's served by all his wives, right? Krishna has so many wives. They're queens, right? They're beautiful. They're opulent. They're full of love and devotion for him. But their love for him is different than the love of the gopis in Vrindavan, right? This is like a little bit of the esoteric.
Royal love.
Yeah, it's a love that's mixed with it's in that royal setting, and it has a certain kind of that affection is blended into their love, is that a kind of like majesty, right? Like a recognition of Krishna's majesty. Whereas like the gopis, they see Krishna as just a boy, right? There is none of that majesty there. So when they're there in their I don't know, royal hall or whatever, and Sudama walks in, he looks like kind of like a beggar off the street, right?
Right. Everyone was sort of shocked. He walked in there like, this is the person you've been waiting for. You told us some exalted guest is coming. This is him.
And what
we were expecting like a big, stretch limo to pull up, and then this guy to get out with fancy watches and incredible suit. And this beggar walks in. This is who we're expecting for Krishna. This is the person you want to see.
And Krishna gets down off the throne, puts Sudama up on that throne, gets down on the ground, gets down on his knees, and begins to wash his feet. Right,
and here's a good point. Sudam had nothing. And he still wanted to give a gift. He didn't want to go see Krishna without a gift. Sometimes, and he took some, not even rice. He couldn't even afford rice. He had the broken grains of rice, which was even cheaper that he could get from the rice man. And he tied it
like
up in
the stuff at the bottom of the bag, right? Like
bottom of the bag. Sometimes in India, someone will say to as an American, Prabhu, please, and give me some rupees. And Americans are like, oh, we don't give to beggars, in a sort of like a flippant way sometimes. But even the poorest people, the pilgrims that come, sometimes you'll see like 30 pilgrims coming, and they're dirt poor, and they come into the temple and they carry the ladies in their sari, like a big thing of rice.
Yeah.
Like loose rice. And they'll go to the temple, and on the temple altar, they'll just put a little handful of rice on the temple. Like they want to offer something to the deity. They don't want to see the deity without bringing a gift. Why? You're right. You come to see someone, you want to give a little bit of a gift. It's so sweet. So Sudam is seeing Krishna. Krishna's got everything, right? But Krishna sees, oh, it's not the rice. Krishna doesn't need our rice, but he sees the love of Sudam.
And that love, I mean, that love is like, it's sewn into this verse here, right? In other words, it's saying that God himself, it's Stitcher, God himself the foremost amongst all great personalities, obtained the opulence of his staunch reputation. How? Which purifies the entire universe. How? By worshiping the lotus feet of those brahmanas and Vaishnavas. By his love for them, actually his reputation is built on that. It's almost an unfathomable statement. Really
Okay,
think
where
about
are there? Let's clean house with this. Where else did Krishna worship the Brahmins?
Well, I think we see that in so many places, like in Mahabharata and Bhagavatam, like whenever like Narada arrives, for instance, right? Krishna will show him that
Vessel.
respect.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
know,
Yep.
so
Yep. Yep. Yep.
when
Yep.
the Brahmanas are there, that's Krishna himself
Krishna
responds that way.
did Krishna say they should kill
Man, go ahead.
Drona's son, Ashwatthama? Did Krishna say kill him?
That was a very interesting. I mean, there we see that. I believe even Krishna there may call him a Brahmabandhu.
Called it a Brahmana Bandhu.
That he's not actually,
quite a
he's
Brahmin.
born in a
into
Brahmana
Brahmin
family,
but not acting
but he's
like a
not
Brahmin.
behaving like one, so he can be
Yeah.
killed there. That was where he tried to kill.
The children of.
Well, he had already killed the children of.
Oh yeah.
He had already killed the. That's right. He had already killed the children of Draupadi, and so he dispatched Arjuna. Arjuna was dispatched to go catch him, and Krishna's driving the chariot. Right. They capture Ashwatthama. They bring him back, and there you have Draupadi. Now, imagine Draupadi had one son with each of the 5 Pandavas, and they were all just killed, right?
While they were sleeping.
While they were sleeping.
What a heinous act!
When the war was pretty much already
real,
all over.
like true crime stuff happening in the Mahabharata. Like real eerie, like a true crime podcast happening in the Mahabharata.
Yeah, that one was such a heartbreaker because somehow they managed to survive that battle, which almost everybody died in. And then Ashwatthama, to please Duryodhana, he wanted to kill the 5 Pandavas in their sleep, but he found their sons instead. He killed their 5 sons in their sleep.
Oh my God.
And he brought their skulls
in a bag.
Duryodhana.
True crime stuff.
And Duryodhana, he could tell that these weren't the skulls of the Pandavas, that they were their sons. And even he was disgusted. What have you done?
He was disgusted.
Yeah. And so then
when Duryodhana is disgusted,
it's really bad.
It's really bad.
So then Arjuna tells Draupadi, I'm going to capture Ashwatthama. I'm going to bring him back to you. I'm going to kill him. And you're going to take, at the funeral of your children, after the funeral of your, I guess there's like a ritualistic bath that you take after the funeral. And in that bath, after the funeral of your children, of your sons, you'll take that bath standing on his head. That was his statement, right? So he's got Krishna driving the chariot. He chases him down and captures him, binds him, brings him back. And you have Draupadi there. You have Krishna there. You have Yudhishthira, Bhima, right? I'd assume Nakula and Sahadeva were there, but those are all like involved in the conversation that's about to take place, right? Now Arjuna brings back Ashwatthama. Now he's bound. Now he's going to carry out his vow, right? I told you I was going to capture him and kill him. I got him. He's here. I'm ready to do it. But he's hesitating. Now, this is a fascinating. I don't know how we got here, Raghunath.
I don't know how we got here. It's quite a fascinating squirrel here.
It's a fascinating squirrel.
The nuances of dharma, because Ashwatthama is 1, born in a Brahmin family.
Yes.
And 2, he's the son of their guru.
Yes. And he's also the son of Draupadi's friend. What was her name?
The son of Draupadi's friend. The son of Draupadi's friend.
Yeah, like his mother, what's Ashwatthama's mother's name?
Drona's wife?
Is it Droni? Is something like that? I think it may be Droni.
Droni.
Yeah, like Drona and Droni, like Kripa and Kripi. Like their names are like that.
Never heard that. I'm missing this.
Can you work on that one, Mara?
Yeah.
Mara's on it. Nityananda Chandra.
Creepy?
No, that's Kripa.
That's Kripas. You see, that's what I'm saying Droni. Maybe
creepy. Imagine being married to Kripa, ladies.
It's not.
You'd be called creepy.
It's Krip though, actually. It's Kripa.
Oh, it's not Krip. Creepy.
Oh, Kripacharya, I think it is. I'm not even sure of that. In any case, Yeah. In any case, so because Draupadi's first response is don't kill him. Right? She's like, he's um he's the son of my friend, and the way that I've had to suffer, I would never want her to have to suffer the same way. Right? Compassion.
Yeah. Yeah. She
Yeah.
showed incredible compassion, even though her kids were killed.
Yeah.
She's
Now,
like, you know what? I don't want her to suffer like I'm suffering right now.
now
Okay.
Krishna's. Oh yeah,
Sorry,
you
I've
good?
got some info here.
Okay.
So, according to Google G, Creepy is Dronacharya's wife, and she's the
is?
twin
That's
sister
wrong.
of Kripa.
Oh. Okay.
Oh,
So-
Creep and Creepy were brother and sister. They weren't married.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha. Good to
Creepy.
know. Okay. So
maybe Mara's gonna get initiated with the name Creepy.
it's possible.
Guru Maharaj, can you do a do-over on that, please?
Okay.
Your
let's
name is Creepy.
let's try to stay focused here, Raghunath. Okay. So
I was gonna say that to you and try to bring you back to the verse, but you keep going.
okay. So we have Krishna saying, hey, all the dharmic laws are saying kill this person, right? He's killing innocent children. He should be killed. Krishna saying kill him. Bhima, what's Bhima saying?
Kill him.
I mean, that's Bhima's mood, right? It's
Kill 'em all.
He's
what
angry and
Bhima said.
he's down
'em
to
all.
kill. Whereas Draupadi responds saying, no, don't kill him. You know, and then Yudhishthira also responds with compassion, following Draupadi's lead. Then Krishna shifts his position. Well, maybe Draupadi's right. Maybe he shouldn't be killed. You know, then you still got Bhima. How can you say that? You know, he just killed all our sons, you know, in their sleep. And then Krishna turns to Arjuna and looks at him, indicating that you need to somehow satisfy everyone. Very interesting, right? What does he do?
Well, I don't think it satisfied everybody, but he cut his hair.
Well, in some sense, he satisfied everyone. He
like humiliated him.
he killed his
these
ego.
Warriors have these very big, very big, beautiful looks to themselves. You know, they have beautiful mustaches, beautiful beards, long, beautiful hair. And so he went up and gave him a little sort of a punk rock haircut, like cut off half his mustache, trimmed his beard all wacky. It was humiliating.
They say it's actually worse than death for the warrior.
The king would rather say, just kill me. Just kill
Yeah.
me. I don't want to be humiliated in front of my enemies.
Yeah.
So for their egos, you know, it's part of like the king's dharma is like, okay, I lost. You kill me then. You kill me. I'm okay with that. It's like fighting a duel.
Now, what do we learn from this instance, Raghunath?
It's not all about your mustache or your beard.
Anything else?
Dharma is slightly nuanced, right?
Well,
It's not
not
necessarily black and
slightly.
white.
In other words,
Slightly.
particularly, right? In other words, yeah, that we read these books, and you know, I'm sure there was a law stated somewhere, right? Like in the Manu Samhita or something, that's going to say if someone's killing innocent children, then actually it's dharmic, you know, that they be put to death. And one can read that, right, and say, well, here it is in black and white, but it's not so black and white.
Yeah.
It's not so. And the proof is that not only do you have a group of like enlightened Vaishnavas that are disagreeing on what to do, but even you have Krishna in the midst of it himself.
Also,
you know,
like choosing
is
the
this-
other side.
Yeah, the sword.
He's
Not
voting
only
for kill.
flipping himself. He's flip flopping himself. You know, going back and forth over to what's dharmic and what's the right thing to do. So yeah, it's a very interesting pastime. So in any case, here we're hearing about the glorification of the brahmanas. I think we brought that up because he was a brahmana's son, because Ashvatthama was a brahmana's son. There was that question got brought into it. Well, you never kill a brahmana, you know. Okay, but is he really a brahmana? He's not living like one. Yeah, so that was playing out in that
Right. We were
conversation.
talking about Krishna showing respect to Brahmins.
Yeah.
But we were saying, no. Krishna said, kill him. He said, don't respect him. He said, kill him. Okay. 38.
39.
39. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is everlasting, independent, and who exists in everyone's heart,
Mhm.
is very pleased with those who follow in his footsteps and engage without reservation in the servants of the descendants of the Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas. For he is always dear to the Brahmins and the Vaishnavas, and they are always dear to him.
So it's even greater to serve those that descend from. And I think here again, descent doesn't necessarily mean descending like seminally or by
Seminally,
birth. Yeah, right. But serving the servant.
Yeah. By regular service to the Brahmins and Vaishnavas, one can clear the. This is a good one.
This
One
sounds just
can-
like what we chant every morning, right? Narayanam Namaskritya.
One can clear the dirt from his heart and thus enjoy supreme peace and liberation from material attachment and be satisfied. In this world, there is no fruit of activity superior to serving the Brahmana class, for this can bring pleasure to the demigods, for whom the many sacrifices are recommended.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So what's being it's interesting what's being said if we understand it in this Vedic context, right? If one reads, and again, this is where Bhagavatam kind of like it's giving a higher understanding of everything that's laid out in the Vedic literature. So one might read the four Vedas and say, oh, one can find happiness and pleasure through serving or through offering sacrifice to the devas. That's what the four Vedas are built on. That's the basic theme, right? Have gratitude, our theme for this week. Demonstrate that gratitude to the devas who are supplying everything that we've got. You got warmth that's come from the sun, it's come from the god of the sun. Show some gratitude through ritual, right? You've got food, you've got, water to drink, et cetera, et cetera. You got to show you have to make a concrete demonstration of your gratitude through acts of sacrifice. And you'll be blessed with more pleasure, more happiness, and so on. So what he's saying here is like, yeah, that's true. But if you want to get to a deeper, a more genuine and a more substantial type of offering to the devas, what really makes them happy, your little offerings and so on. Okay, that has its effect. But something that's far more substantial is when selflessly, what to speak of out of love, you serve enlightened people. Then they become really satisfied. Then they say, you know what, that person really gets what this whole world, how it works and what it's all about, right? They're not just trying to like play a game like a child, like, oh, I want something and I'll do something for it. No, they've come to a much deeper level of spiritual realization about life. They're serving, they're serving people who have wisdom. They're serving people who live deep, pure lives selflessly.
This is one of the great magical, mystical qualities of bhakti that, you might be new to this. You might be like, I want to go to a kirtan. I can't concentrate in kirtans. Or, they say you should chant on malas. I can't chant on malas. My mind is too distracted. They say I should, do everything as an offering. It's too hard. The attachment towards hearing and chanting, even I know when I was coming to Bhakti, everyone would say, you should read the Bhagavad Gita, read the Bhagavad Gita. I got one page on that Bhagavad Gita. I can't read this book, or Krishna book. I can't read this book. But it's by Syan Mahat Sevaya Vipra, by serving the great souls, one develops attachment to hearing about Krishna. It's actually that it doesn't seem like they should be connected, but they are. Yeah. They are completely connected. By serving great souls, great service is done. By such service, one gains affinity for hearing the messages of Vasudeva, Lord Krishna.
You're thinking like Prabhupada.
Not thinking like Prabhupada.
Yeah.
Why does he say this in the next verse?
Well, no, what he says in the commentary here is he focuses in on one word that's used here, which is anantavelam, which means without delay. Okay. So he's saying that you get these results and you get them without delay. Okay. So this is what Prabhupada says. And again, that's in comparison to, like, in other words, the kind of ritual one may do with a karmic motive, right? I worship the devas to get certain results. Okay, you've entered into the system and you're participating as the rules say, and you will get your results. They may come after some time, But what Prabhupada writes here is the particular use of the word anantavelam, without delay, is very significant, because simply by serving brahmanas and Vaishnavas, one can get liberation. Right? One can become freed from all the bondage of this world. There is no need to undergo severe penances and austerities. These things are really hard to do, right? The vivid example of this is Narada Muni himself. Remember back in the first canto, he spoke about it. In his previous birth, he was simply a maidservant's son. but he got the opportunity to serve exalted brahmanas and Vaishnavas, and thus in his next life he not only became liberated, but became famous as the supreme spiritual master of the entire Vaishnava disciplic succession. According to the Vedic system, therefore, it is customarily recommended that after performing a ritualistic ceremony, one should feed the brahmanas. So even that's the more essential part, right? It's not even just an after, it's kind of like said like as an afterthought, right? If you, let's say you do a ritualistic ceremony, like let's say Raghunath has a child and the child just had their first grain ceremony, right? That's like something that you...
The first grains means the first time they eaten a piece of rice or bread.
Yeah, it's a little rite of passage in life. So you bring the brahmanas over and you do a little ritualistic ceremony. And then at the end, you're supposed to feed everyone, right? You have a nice feast cooked and you feed everyone. So here it's saying, so you build it right into that ritualistic ceremony, the service to the brahmanas and the Vaishnavas, because they're going to get more benefit from that.
You know what my daughter's grain ceremony was?
Tell me.
It was at Lord Jagannath's cart in New York. Raghunath Swami went to the cart, took some Mahaprasad and put it in her mouth. That was her grain
Get
ceremony.
out.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
Amazing.
17 years ago. Yeah. So what's a practical way that, like, everyone listening on Zoom or listening as an other or a zother out there, that what's a practical way that we can Syan Mahat Sevaya Vipra serve great souls so we can develop affinity for hearing and chanting? One is you can share. You can share what you're learning with someone else. When you share it, you should understand you are serving the whole tradition, the whole lineage, all the great masters who passed on, who are just like showering blessings upon you. If you have any affinity for hearing and chanting already, you should be understanding you're doing something right and you're getting those blessings. And if you want to get more blessings like that, you got to share. You got to be a care bear. You got to be a care bear that cares for people in the suffering
And
world.
shares.
Yeah, a care bear that shares. Mira's like quickly writing it down. Be a care bear. Be a care bear. Hashtag be a care bear. But it's really true. This is how we get those blessings. When we serve the lineage by giving this away to others. And we say again and again, it's the highest thing you can give is giving somebody direction. No matter what you got in this material world, if we have no direction, what good is it? No matter if I'm driving a Lamborghini or a Maserati, if I don't know where to drive, what good is that great vehicle? We need direction in this world, or else we're just spinning wheels, driving in circles. So the Bhagavatam is great like that. It just gives us direction. You know what I was thinking about this the other day? Who was I thinking about? You know, sometimes people get really into their art, be it like whatever, martial arts or music. There's a big thing that happens in the West. We become like virtuosos in some type of talent thing where we're like, I'm in the flow and I'm doing ice skating. I'm like an Olympic ice skater or a gymnast or a surfer or snowboard, all those things. And we get into the art of it, but we forget that the art is supposed to be connected with the offering. The art is, it's not just refining an art, because that refined art of skiing or surfing or, or whatever, any talented thing that you do, if it can also be done for the ego. You can be you can be a master of something in the material world, but if it's not connected to an offering somehow, and maybe that's your job to figure out, if you are a virtuoso at something or great at something, you got to figure out what that bridge is. How can this be an offering? Or else we are just in some great material flow. It's just like having some other type of opulence, like a person has lots of wealth or lots of real estate or lots of beauty. It's a big, big deal. You know, it has to be sort of a way to like crack open the ego and have you connect with the divine. And, or else we've just refined the culture. That's why I love Vedic culture. You can become a great at dance or great at art or great at drum or great at music or great at language, but it doesn't stop there. The greatness has to be an offering, and then it's perfected. What do you think about that, Kaustubha?
It's so true what you're saying, and part of what's being said in this verse that I think relates to that, which makes this really dynamic, because listen to, again, what's been said is that through serving these people, find some people that possess these very deep spiritual qualities, and then make serving them your mission. Okay. It says the result of that is that it will clear the dirt from one's heart, right? In other words, all my selfishness will start to disintegrate. And it's my selfishness and ignorance that's causing me all my suffering. So through that, it says it's going to clear the dirt from one's heart. And then it says, and thus you enjoy supreme peace and liberation from material attachment, and you become satisfied. That's a formula for happiness right here, right?
Yep.
It's like take your selfishness, throw it out the window, focus on, find qualified people, and make their service your mission in life. And that's going to be done. And you might not be able to sit, like you were saying earlier, you might not be able to sit peacefully and meditate. You might not be able to do great austerities. But this is something that even though I'm a broken, dented can, I can do it. I can find a way to do it.
And we're working towards that. That'll come. That comes in time.
Yeah.
At different phases of in our life, our mind is
Deepens.
less steady.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I was going to say one more thing about that.
Go.
Is that this is a statement that Krishna's making at different times, and also the other sages will say at different times, right? In other words, that to serve, not even to serve God, but to serve other people that are devoted to God becomes a greater service to God and more pleasing to God. Now, it's quite a profound thing, because what it does is it actually demands a more genuine surrender, right? Like a more genuine giving up of one's selfishness. Because I could do anything, just like you're saying, I may become a virtuoso at everything, at anything, and say, it's my offering to God. But really, is it really? But when you serve another human being, then you really begin to have to let go of your own selfishness. You really have to begin to mold yourself to the will of another. And although, again, that may that very idea may ruffle the feathers of a Western mind. It is so real. And I think it's something that, for instance, today I'm going to get to see Raghunath Swami, right?
Ooh.
Which is my first time to really be able to sit down in person with him in a few years, and but I know in that conversation I'll just offer my life to him again. It's just like, what I'm saying. It's just like for decades now I've seen myself as, I'm your servant. You tell me what I'm doing right or wrong in my life. Tell me, how can I serve you better? And I don't regret it. A bit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like I've
no, because
nothing but gained from
joy
it.
is to find yourself as part of something bigger, not be, and even sometimes you do something very big, you still see yourself as a satellite of the greater.
Yeah. And by big, I wouldn't even mean because he does big things in the world. Not even like
substantial things.
Yeah, real. Yeah, but not even that. In other words, even as if he had never created the eco village and the Bhakti-yogi hospital and the influenced huge numbers of people and all that, because I see him as connected to God. Even if I were to serve him in some insignificant way, I feel that it's a genuine connection to God. Right, it's a genuine connection to God, and I have I have a conviction. I don't see myself as a sycophantic person.
I don't see you like that.
Thank you, thank you. Because actually, I worry about it every day. No, but in other words, I feel like I got a mind of my own. I feel like my whole life, since I was pretty young, I said I'm going to map out my own path in life.
Yeah.
But at the same time, at a certain point, I made decisions like, hey, there are people in this world that get it better than I do,
right.
And that shouldn't be such like a revelation, there's,
Right.
we should be certain. It's kind of like in those kind of like management, there's those kind of like management, I don't know what you call them, like cliches, I suppose, but the way they say, like, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
I like that one.
You've heard that one before?
Yeah, take that one away. No, I'm going to use that today.
Well, in other words, like like in management, people might think, oh, I've got to be like the smartest guy. Everyone should be listening to me. Well, then you really don't know what you're doing. You should be. If you really know what you're doing, you're going to get people in that room that are smarter than you.
Mm.
So in life, it's like that. You know, if I think like I'm the most deeply spiritual person, or I'm the smartest person, or I'm the most worthy person, whatever, I'm really not seeing things very clearly. And I really should seek out people in life who deeply embody spiritual qualities. And, you know, we heard about some of them in the previous verse, you know, tolerance, wisdom, kindness, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Find people that possess those. And then what do? Yes, you hear from them. Absolutely, you hear from them, right? You can learn from them, but also you serve them.
Mm.
Right? You serve them. You even not, and it's not even just like, and that can be done like it's whatever service is done is super valuable.
Mm.
And it might be just almost like a token service, and that's valuable. But what to speak of when it's like, my life is yours now, right? Like, I'm your follower in the sense that the way that you develop those qualities, I'm lacking those. I want to develop them myself. Let me follow in your footsteps. You engage me. You know?
I saw this guy at the Rath
Powerful.
Yatra, this older Indian man, walking around with a stack of $50 bills and just handing them to devotees.
Were you running behind him? Hello.
Wait for me. No, I didn't think of that, but I should have perhaps. I was just thinking how sweet. He's like an old man. He's just handing out $50 bills.
Right. So he wants to serve great
He
souls.
just wants to serve, you know, he sees people pulling the cart. He just wants to give.
That's amazing. But again, my point being is that one can think like this, like in other words, when you have faith in someone that has these qualities, when you felt transformation through their words, through their blessings, then you can approach and say, I'm your servant now. You know, how can I best serve? You know, that's when bhakti gets particularly, you know, dynamic.
All right.
All right.
Well, let's take
we're
it
out
to
of time.
Mara. Look at the time.
Oh, wow, it just went
Look at the
right
time.
by.
Time for mangoes
And takeaways.
and
First
takeaways.
All right. I got a lot of stuff today.
Lots of
All right.
valuable things here, Mara.
Happiness comes from gratitude. Sadness comes from entitlement.
Yeah.
Okay.
T-shirt that, please.
Every perfect spice has been added to the recipe of your life.
Yes.
Mm.
Even the
Mhm.
tragedies are divinely arranged.
Mm.
Devotees wear the lenses of gratitude and appreciation.
Yeah.
They do.
Have the courage and confidence to be grateful before you unwrap your gift.
No, good one.
Oh,
Good one.
Alrighty. Grateful.
Make selfless service to great souls your mission.
Make it your mission, Raghu.
Make it your mission. Yes.
Be a care bear that shares.
Be a Care Bear that shares, people.
Seek out those who deeply embody tolerance, wisdom, and kindness. Hear from them and serve them.
And give them $50.
You know, when at one point you were saying something, Raghunath, where you're going like, and so in an excellent way to give back. I thought you were saying, so join Patreon.
That was a good entrance for Patreon, wasn't it?
All right. Go ahead.
Serve the lineage and receive blessings by sharing direction.
Share
Okay, a little
direction.
long, but yeah.
Our greatness, talent, and refined arts has to be an offering.
True.
Yeah.
Make it an
And
offering.
God is the perfect chef.
God is the perfect chef. Yeah, Mara, don't get too
What's
Number
perfect
proud.
today?
Number one chef.
Number one chef in Columbia County and in the three worlds. That's it, everybody. Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody, for joining us on this late hour, 8 a.m. What's going on? Sleeping every day this week because we're in Costa Rica. I want to thank everybody for joining us on Zoom. If you want to join us on Zoom, Wisdom of the Sages 108 at gmail.com. Mara will send you the secret codes if you're up there listening. Come on, join our little Zoom family. This is a community-supported podcast. If you like what we're doing, if you're getting something substantial out of the podcast, you can give back. You can go to patreon.com/wisdom of the sages. All those people who are supporting us, we really appreciate it. It's needed and welcome. Thank you so much. We're very, very grateful. We are grateful for you.
And if they want to come to events,
You got to go to wisdomofthesages.com. We're having a party on the 4th of July at Super Soul Farm. Join us there. Me, Kaustubha, Mara, we're going to be up there, and a lot of cool others and Zothers and Zoomers are going to be there for vegan weenie roast. Yes, vegan weenie roast. You heard it right. Mara's vegan meatballs, maybe, if we can wrestle the meatballs out of her. And classes and lots of kirtan. We're quite excited. And perhaps a mysterious guest.
We're going to California too, right?
Oh, we're doing another one in California.
Is that up online anywhere?
I don't think it's up yet because
Okay.
Rachel's in.
But that's the first weekend in August, right? Like the
first weekend of August. We're doing a
6th or
Rathi
something?
retreat. It is the I can't remember.
something like the 6th, 5th, 6th, 7th, something like that of
Something like
of
that.
August.
First
The
weekend
first
of
weekend,
August,
yeah.
before we do the Sage Academy. Not the Sage Academy. Yes, the Sage Academy. Before we do that, we're going to California at Yoga 108. Our good friend Madhuri's yoga studio, and we're doing a wisdom.
Ooh,
Sage
that's in Long Beach, Scott. It's in Long Beach,
Long Beach,
California.
California, right near Jenna and Dharma and who else is in Long Beach? Tukaram, Kumi is close by. All our West Coast Zoomers out there. Anyway, yeah. So looking forward to see it. That's going to be announced soon, but it's not announced yet. Otherwise,
And we might have Snoop Dogg there. He
it's
may be
Snoop
there.
My dog. He's from Long Beach, right?
That's what we're
Master,
getting.
you know what? Just trust
He may
me.
come.
This always happens that some sort of celebrity gets into bhakti like in a weird way. You know what I mean?
That's Snoop Dogg this time.
Look at Snoop Dogg's like, I totally understand this now. I swear Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. That's my Snoop Dogg imitation. Wasn't great,
I
but
don't think it sounded anything like Snoop.
but you know, sometimes they're a little
Snoop Dogg is
deeper.
more laid back, or he's got like a laid back.
Yo, Krishna is totally cool. Yeah, it's like he's my homeboy. You know?
Still can't